Ever get the feeling that, like, the most interesting discoveries come from reinterpreting stuff we thought we already knew?
Yeah, totally. Like seeing something familiar in a whole new light.
Right. Well, get ready, because today we're doing exactly that, diving into the Quran.
Yeah.
But maybe not in the way you'd think.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's on the agenda for today's deep dive?
So we're checking out this document.
Okay.
Right. It claims there are these hidden geographical codes, basically, tucked away in the verses.
Hidden codes, that's a new one.
It's wild, right?
Oh.
And supposedly, like, they unlock a completely different level of meaning.
Whoa. Okay, so kind of like a spiritual treasure map then.
Exactly. Except instead of gold, we're digging for, like, deeper truths, you know?
I'm getting. So who's our guide on this treasure hunt?
The one and only Dr. Khalid Walid. I'd heard of him before, but honestly, this document, next level stuff.
Okay, so Dr. Walid, refresh my memory. What's this whole deal?
He's got this really unique way of looking at things. It's like Islamic theology, history, linguistics. He blends it all together.
Interesting. So how does that all connect to the whole hidden codes idea?
So he's suggesting basically that these aren't just like stories, right? Some of these verses pinpoint actual locations.
Wait, so he's saying the Quran is literally pointing to specific places.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Okay, I am officially hooked. So where does this whole geographical treasure hunt start?
It all begins, believe it or not, with the title, The Lowest Point on Earth.
Okay. Cryptic. Does he explain what that means?
He does. He links it right back to Quran 30.1 to 5. You know, the verse is about the Byzantines being defeated by the Persians.
Right, and then the Byzantines come back to win a few years later. Historically speaking, it tracks.
Totally. But Dr. Walid is saying there's, like, more to it than that.
Like what?
Well, he says the Quran's not just saying any defeat, right? It uses the phrase, the lowest point on Earth.
Geographically speaking. Is he talking about the Dead Sea?
Ding, ding, ding. You got it.
Wow.
Right. Dr. Walid believes that one little phrase, it adds a whole other layer to things. Like the Quran's being incredibly deliberate. It's using these geographical markers to point us in the right direction.
Okay, my mind is officially blown, and we're just getting started. Although, you know what always throws me off?
Okay.
Those mysterious letters, Alif, Lam, Mim, at the beginning of Surah 30. They're like right there with this whole Dead Sea thing. Any idea what Dr. Walid makes of those?
Okay, yeah, those letters, they've had scholars stumped forever. But Dr. Walid, he's got a theory.
Oh, do tell.
Get this. He thinks they represent space, AD time.
Space and time. Okay, hold on. I need more explanation. How do letters represent concepts like that?
So bear with me here. He's saying Aleph, that's like the connection between heaven and earth. Then Lam, that symbolizes all the horizontal stuff poles of the earth, that kind of thing.
Okay, I kind of see where he's going with this. So what about Meme?
He says meme, that's time itself. It's wild.
It's like he's piecing together this cosmic puzzle using these letters as clues, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around the bigger picture here. What's he actually doing with all this space and time stuff?
He's saying these letters, they're like coordinates. They're zeroing in on a specific region, somewhere between the Euphrates and the Nile.
Between the Euphrates and the Nile, that's a pretty significant chunk of land. Does he narrow it down any further?
He calls it the theater of historical events and says the center points are Baka, Jerusalem, and Mecca, Petra.
Whoa, okay, so we've got this whole framework built around geography, right? But how is Dr. Walid actually connecting this to events in the Quran?
Okay, buckle up, because this is where it gets really good. He takes Quran 33.59, the verse about women's clothing,
Okay.
and connects it to Haredi Jewish attire in Jerusalem.
Haredi Jewish attire. Now that's a curveball if I've ever heard one. What's the connection there?
So he talks about this specific time period, right, when the Persians teamed up with the Haredi Jews, and the Haredi Jews, they had control over Jerusalem at the time.
Right.
And Dr. Walid points out how the Haredi Jews, they had this really distinctive way of dressing, particularly the women. Black garments, face veils, the whole 9 yards.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. He's not just talking about clothing, he's talking about historical context.
Yeah.
Is he suggesting that the verse telling believing women to cover up, that it was actually meant for safety during that specific time and place?
Exactly. He's saying it was about women being safe and recognizable during this chaotic time. He even goes so far as to say that it might not be meant to be a universal commandment for all time.
That's a pretty huge statement to make. It really makes you wonder how much of our understanding of these texts is shaped by our own historical and geographical lens.
Right. And it gets even wilder. Dr. Walid, he takes this whole idea even further. He says even specific Arabic words, just the way they relate to space, can actually help pinpoint locations in the Quran.
Whoa, okay, now you have to give me an example of that because that sounds fascinating.
He uses Dana and Adna to make his point.
Those always seem pretty straightforward to me, just near or closer. What else is there to them?
Well, that's what I thought too, right? But Dr. Walid, he digs into the root meaning of those words, and he connects them to the idea of low points. And not just physically low, but like metaphorically too.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Physically and metaphorically. So he's connecting these words to like spiritual states too.
Exactly. And you know where he takes it? The Prophet Muhammad's experiences during the night journey.
Ah, interesting.
He specifically points to Quran 53.7-9, where it talks about the Prophet being 2 bow lengths away or nearer. The words Dana and Adna are right there.
So he's saying those words, they're like clues, right?
Yeah.
Like the prophet wasn't just close to something spiritually. He was literally at a low point geographically.
You're catching on quick. And to really get what Dr. Walid is doing with this low point thing, we have to jump over to Quran 2.5859, the story of Moses and the Israelites.
Ah, okay. So we're connecting the dots now. What's the link between this idea and the Israelites?
This is where Dr. Walid throws in a real head-scratcher. He says the Promised Land, it wasn't actually their intended destination at all.
Wait, seriously? He's saying they weren't even supposed to go there?
Ah!
That challenges a lot of what I'd always heard.
Right. It turns a lot of traditional interpretations on their head. But he's got a reason for saying it. He points to the Israelites and their obsession with certain foods.
Oh, right. They were always asking for specific things, weren't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they complain about the manna?
Exactly. So Dr. Walid, he zeroes in on that. In Quran 2.61, it lists the foods they were craving. Herbs, cucumbers, garlic, lentils, onions, that kind of thing.
And he's saying those specific foods, they're significant.
He thinks they're proof that the Israelites were longing to go back to a specific place, a forbidden land, if you will.
You mean like a metaphorical low point?
You got it. He thinks this forbidden land, this Misr, mentioned in the Quran, it's not actually Egypt like most translations say.
Wait, really? If it's not Egypt, then where is it?
He says it's Palestine.
Whoa, okay, hold on. So he's challenging the traditional translation of Misr. He's saying this is the land the Israelites were drawn back to, the land of agriculture and abundance.
Exactly. He sees their constant requests for food not just as complaints, but as this deep-seated desire to return to this forbidden land.
Wow, that is a completely different way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So he's saying that by choosing to disobey and seek out what was forbidden, they ended up at a spiritual Adna.
Precisely. And that's what makes Dr. Walid's work so fascinating. He takes these seemingly random things, language, geography, historical events, and weaves them together to create this totally new perspective. And it's not even just the big picture stuff. He uses the smallest detail.
Right. Like the crops. It's like
Yeah.
he's saying, hey, pay attention to those seemingly insignificant details. There's a reason those specific things are mentioned.
He does not miss a trick. But you know what? I think we should probably pause here for a second, let everything sink in, and then come back to unpack some more of this.
Sounds like a plan. This deep dive is only just getting started. It's like he's saying every single word matters, even the descriptions that seem kind of random.
Totally. And those details, he uses them to build this really convincing argument. Like, he points to verses like 6.141, 16.11, 12.47, just off the top of his head.
Those are the ones with like the gardens and stuff, right? Dates, fruits.
Exactly. The kind of thing you might just skim over.
Yeah, they just sound like, I don't know, descriptions of nature's bounty and all that. But Dr. Walid's saying there's more to it?
Oh, way more. He's pointing out how the Quran makes this clear distinction between wild plants and then the crops people actually cultivate. And then he ties that back to his whole thing about specific regions, like certain places are mentioned because they're perfect for agriculture. You know?
I see. So it's not just about where things happened, it's about the deeper meaning behind the actual environment.
Exactly. And then, this is where it gets even more interesting, he brings it all back to Adna, that spiritual low point.
Okay, remind me again, how do those two things connect?
Well, he sees this recurring theme, right? When people stray from the path, from what Allah has set out for them, it often involves seeking out these forbidden crops, these places they're not supposed to go.
It's like that idea of you are what you eat, but on a spiritual level.
Yes. It's not just about physical sustenance, it's about what we choose to nourish our souls with.
Okay, yeah, that adds a whole other layer to the lowest point thing, doesn't it? It's not just a place or a time, it's this whole state of being.
Exactly. And that, I think, is at the core of what Dr. Walid is trying to do. This isn't just some intellectual exercise, you know? He's seriously passionate about getting people to engage with the Quran on this deeper level.
It's like he's saying, don't just accept what you've always been told. Question things. See for yourself.
Yes. And he's not afraid to be provocative either. He even questions the whole thing about where Mecca actually is.
Wait, seriously? He's challenging the location of Mecca.
Oh, yeah. He says the Mecca in the Quran, it's actually Mecca Petra over in Jordan.
Wow, okay. He's definitely not shying away from controversy.
Sure. Not at all. But that's what I find so engaging about his work. He's not telling you what to think. He's just laying out the evidence and saying, hey, this is what I found. Now go explore for yourself.
It's a very different approach to like studying these ancient texts, you know. Most scholars aren't like that.
I know, right? But Dr. Walid, he even talks about how he came to these conclusions. It wasn't like, boom, sudden revelation. He spent years studying, reflecting, refining his own understanding.
So it's a process. He's not claiming to have all the answers.
Exactly. And I think that's a really important message in itself. Like, understanding isn't this destination you arrive at. It's an ongoing journey.
I like that. So he's not saying this is the only way to interpret this. He's saying, this is what I found. Now go find your own truth.
Yeah. He even uses this really strong language, like urging people to abandon the den of Satan and return to Allah.
Whoa, okay, so he's not messing around. What's he getting at with that kind of language?
I think he's saying that true freedom, it comes from seeking knowledge directly from the source, going back to the Quran and trying to understand it within its historical and geographical context.
So it's about reclaiming your own understanding.
Yeah.
Not just blindly accepting what you've been told.
Right. And that's where the power of his whole geographical approach comes in, because by understanding the where and the why, he believes you can unlock this whole other level of meaning. And it's not just about knowledge, it's about personal transformation.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. It's like he's saying, if you really want to understand this, you have to go beyond just the words on the page. You have to see the world through this different lens.
Yes. He's basically saying, I've found this hidden dimension within the text, and I'm inviting you to come explore it with me.
And who could resist an invitation like that? But okay, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's bring it back to what we've covered today.
Sounds like a plan. Gotta pace ourselves, right?
So we've been on this whole journey with Dr. Walid, right? Seeing the Quran through this whole new lens, lowest points, hidden meanings, those forbidden crops. It's a lot to take in.
It really is. And, you know, it makes you think.
Exactly. Like with all this new stuff swirling around in my head, what are we supposed to do with it all? What's the takeaway from all of this, you know?
That's the million-dollar question, right? For me, I think it comes down to this. Dr. Walid is showing us that interpretation, it's not set in stone. Like, we can't just accept what we've always been told. We have to actually engage with these texts.
It's like he's saying, don't just read the words, unpack them, figure out what they mean to you.
Yes. And remember, there's always more to learn. Always another layer to uncover.
Which is kind of exciting,
Yeah.
but also a little daunting, right? Like, where do we even begin if we want to try this whole geographical lens thing ourselves?
Well, that's the beauty of it, right? He's not giving us a step-by-step guide. It's about going on your own journey of discovery.
Finding your own lowest points that lead to a greater understanding.
Exactly. And for everyone, it's going to be different. The important thing is just to come to the text with an open mind. Don't be afraid to question things. Explore. You might be surprised by what you find.
It's like when you learn a new word and then suddenly you see it everywhere. You can't unsee it. That's what Dr. Walid's work is like. Once you start noticing these geographical and historical connections, it makes you wonder what else you've been missing all along.
Like, he's given us a whole new perspective, a new way of seeing things.
I mean, a whole bunch of new questions. It makes you wonder what other secrets are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to notice them.
And not just in the Quran. Imagine applying this to other religious texts, historical documents. Who knows what we might discover?
It's an invitation to never stop learning. To always be curious, always be digging deeper, trying to find those hidden meanings that resonate with us. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive for today.
It's been a pleasure exploring all of this with you.
The pleasure was all mine. But before we go, I want to leave everyone with this thought. Could there be more to the stories we thought we knew? What would happen if we all started looking a little closer, questioning a little more, and embracing that sense of wonder and curiosity? Until next time, keep exploring, keep those questions coming, and most importantly, keep diving deep.